Hello everyone, my name is George Wilson, and in this second video, I'll be talking about outdoor recreation safety. I'll be discussing how planning and preparation play a vital role in ensuring a safe and enjoyable experience during outdoor leisure activities. I'll be covering several aspects of outdoor recreation safety. We'll start with personal safety and preparedness, helping you build the mindset and tools needed before heading outdoors. Next, I'll dive into trail and wilderness safety, sharing tips to navigate the backcountry responsibly. We'll then explore water and boating safety, followed by essential camping safety practices. After that, I'll cover winter recreation safety, including strategies for staying safe in cold and snowy conditions. We will then explore hunting, and finally, we'll go over the emergency response conclusion that can make a critical difference in unexpected situations. By the end of this video, you'll have a stronger understanding of how to protect yourself and others, ensuring a safe and enjoyable experience in your choice of an outdoor recreation activity. For personal safety and preparedness, I'll be talking about these three subcategories: packing essentials, weather awareness, and informing others of your plan. If you are planning on taking a trip outdoors, you may be overwhelmed by the number of items you want to bring. Some essential items you will want to consider bringing is a first aid kit. This is a bag full of a collection of supplies that can be used to care for minor injuries and illnesses. Some of the supplies that can be packed in a first aid bag can be bandages, gauze, blister strips, burn gel, ice packs, splints, shears, and important medication. It is also important to pack your prescribed medication and to remember to pack enough that lasts a few extra days. First aid kits can be easily put together by following a checklist, or you can also buy a first aid kit online or in the store. The second item you'll want to pack is a knife or a multi-tool. This is useful for preparing meals, shelter building, etc. Having these tools is just a convenience and helps with survival and daily tasks. Multi-tools is especially useful due to many of the features it provides. Paracord is also an essential item to pack that will assist you in many situations, such as binding stuff together or making repairs. Lastly, remember to pack for the weather and the number of days you are spending in the area, including the proper attire for the recreation activity you are partaking in. If the season is cold, remember to bring enough warm clothing, and if it is warmer outside, bring loose fit clothing. Also, pack enough food and healthy snacks such as energy bars that will last you throughout your journey. Don't forget water as well, especially in places where it is hot and there is high altitude. Speaking of weather, let's talk about weather awareness. Understanding how the weather will be when you plan on going out is a key part of recreation safety. Before heading out on your trip, it is important to check the weather. This helps prepare you for what to pack and if there needs to be a change in your plan. If you plan on checking the weather, a recommended source would be the National Weather Service. Weather can affect the safety of an individual, including comfort and environment. Prime examples of this are being caught in a snowstorm and not having the proper attire, or getting caught up in a thunderstorm on a hike where erosion and floods are occurring. Remember to always have a backup plan if weather conditions are severe. Remember, weather awareness varies by season. In spring, you can expect melting snow, which can lead to flash floods. During the summer, there are thunderstorms and excessive heat temperatures that can cause people to become dehydrated and suffer from heat exhaustion. This is why it is important to have a high water intake. During fall weather, temperatures can be unpredictable and drop to cold temperatures. And last, winter causes snowstorms, ice, and avalanches. People can also suffer from hypothermia and frostbite. That is why it is essential to layer during times when the temperature can drop below freezing. Lastly, for this topic, let's talk about trip plans. Letting other people know your itinerary is important to make sure that someone else knows where you are going. what your plans are, and when you are planning on returning. This allows for easier safety for rescue. By doing this, it can save hours and even days in an emergency when people are looking for you. Overall, being well prepared, staying aware of the weather, and sharing your trip plans are simple but vital steps to ensure a safe and enjoyable outdoor experience. Now let's dive into trail and wilderness safety. I'll be talking about trail etiquette, navigation skills, and leaving no trace. For trail etiquette, these written and unwritten rules are used to ensure the safety and enjoyment of of outdoor trails taken by people. First things first, it is important to respect the right of way. Trails are used for many different recreational activities. For example, trails are used for biking. Bikers yield to hikers. Or if there are people on horseback, hikers yield to people on horses. When hiking, also remember to yield to people hiking uphill because they have the harder climb. Make eye contact with the person you are passing and make clear communication on which side you are passing. If there are any big groups of hikers, move off to the side so that they can pass. Try not to block the trail during breaks and just move off to the side. When on trails, remember to stay quiet and stay on the trail. Wildlife can be active in certain areas, and you'll want to try not to disturb them. It is best to not approach animals or try to feed them. This can cause issues by changing their natural behaviors. I also feel that other hikers would appreciate that you didn't do that as well. Lastly, for trail etiquette, stay on the trail and be prepared. Staying on the trail will ensure your safety. When on designated trails, try not to cut the switchbacks or create new paths. If in a narrow section, walk slowly and try not to step on any plants. Also, avoid muddy trails if possible. The day or the morning of your hike, do some research and figure out the conditions and figure out the difficulty of the trail you are planning on hiking. Remember to bring the correct supplies and let someone know about your itinerary for the hike. When going on hikes on designated trails or in the backcountry or even exploring remote areas, make sure that you do that. It is important to understand navigation. This prevents the individual from getting lost and ensuring a safe return to the starting point. Navigation keeps you oriented and on track. It also helps with planning routes and locating landmarks. Some traditional navigation tools that will help is a map and a compass. In this presentation, I will not explain how to use these items, but I am going to provide a YouTube video tutorial down below for guidance. When going out, remember to bring a compass and a map. You can also use a compass on your phone. The video provided will give you a tutorial on how to use a compass and how to read a topographic map that has counterlines, symbols, and scales. If you cannot access these tools, use landmarks for navigation such as mountains, bodies of water, tree patterns, or physical features. Identifying these landmarks can make it easier while traveling on trails and backcountry. Lastly, let's cover leave no trace. The idea of leave no trace is basic ethics that are designed to help protect the environment while allowing us to enjoy it responsibly. These ethics help minimize human impact on nature. The first ethic I would have to say before that I have said before is leave no trace and plan and be prepared. Do research on the area you are traveling to and understand the rules of the area. Also pack the correct amount of gear and food needed to reduce waste. For the second ethic, travel and camp on surfaces that are sturdy. Stay on trails and camp in areas 200 feet away that are actually designated for camping spots. Try not to hike or camp on fragile vegetation or uphill soils. For the third ethic, if you are in a recreation area or campground, remember to throw trash away in dumpsters and leave the area better than you found it. Say if you're in a dispersed camping area or you are backpacking, pack it in, pack it out. This means take your garbage with you when you leave the area. If there are any restrooms available, of course, use them. If there are not any bathrooms in the area, bury human waste 8 inches deep into the ground and 200 feet away from water sources. For the fourth ethic, remember what you leave, what you find. This means don't take any rocks or cultural artifacts and avoid damaging trees and rocks. For the fifth ethic, minimize fire impact. This can be done by using stoves for cooking instead of ground fires. Remember to make fires in camping rings and to put them out thoroughly so that it is cold to the touch. For the sixth ethic, respect and protect wildlife when going into an outdoor area. Don't be surprised if you see any wildlife. If this occurs, watch from afar and never approach. Also, keep in mind to avoid making loud noises or sudden movements that will disturb them. If there is wildlife in the area, store food securely, and if you decide to bring your pets, keep them under control. For the last ethic, be considerate of other visitors. You are not the only one who is enjoying the beauty of nature. This means keeping noise levels down, respecting private property, and being kind to others. Practicing good trail etiquette, using navigation skills, and following the principles of leave no trace helps keep you and our natural spaces safe. For water and boating safety, we will discuss swimming precautions, rip currents, and water hazards. For swimming precautions, never swim alone. Always swim in areas that are near groups of people or near lifeguards. Be aware of your limits. Swimming can cause cramps, fatigue, or overstimulation. Not pushing yourself can help reduce the risk of these problems. Before going out onto the water, check for weather conditions. Severe weather conditions can be harmful. Severe weather can cause lightning strikes, strong waves, and colder temperatures that can be harmful to the human body. To reduce the risk of drowning, it is recommended to learn basic water safety skills and first aid. This will help ensure the rescue of individuals who are drowning. Another cause for accidents that can occur in bodies of water is alcohol consumption. When drinking alcohol, it can impair judgment and reaction time to certain situations, like drowning. Another cause for drowning is strong currents. Currents are narrow, fast-moving channels that flow away from shores. If you find yourself caught up in one of them, the best action to do is not to fight the current. Try to swim parallel to the shore, and once free, swim back to shore at an angle. Once in a safe area, signal for help if needed. There are many common hazards when in bodies of water. Let's talk about hidden objects. These obstacles can be rocks, submerged logs, or sudden drop-offs. It is important to be aware of this. Water temperatures can also change. Cold, shock, and hypothermia risks can occur in any bodies of water. Boating traffic can also occur. It is important to be visual and aware of your surroundings. If swimming, stay away from boats, jet skis, and paddle boaters. If you are in a certain aquatic area, be aware of the wildlife. Be cautious of jellyfish, stingrays, or other aquatic life while swimming. Understanding these hazards can prevent you from putting yourself in danger. Lastly, let's talk about boating safety. Before going out on a boat, remember to wear a life vest and make sure that you are wearing the correct life vest that is approved and also be in the correct approved areas. Next, check the vessel you are on and ensure that all operations are working properly. Also ensure you have a working communication device and a first aid kit. When operating a boat, Avoid drinking alcohol or taking any hard substances that can disrupt your ability to operate and function the boat. Lastly, you'll want to follow navigation rules and speed limits. This ensures you and everyone else in the area are safe and protected. Remember, following these rules can make a huge difference. Stay safe, stay alert, and enjoy your time out on the water. And of course, don't drown. Camping is another fun recreational activity that is enjoyed by many people. There are two forms of camping. The first form is camping in recreation areas and designated campgrounds. These sites offer many amenities such as bathrooms, showers, and an abundance of recreational opportunities. The second form of camping is dispersed camping, my personal favorite. Dispersed camping is a form of primitive camping that occurs on public lands outside of designated developed campgrounds. This means that sites don't have amenities. If you choose either of these options, it is important to understand how to be safe and responsible. Before heading out on a camping trip, it is important to do some pre-trip planning. You will first want to do some research about the site to understand fees, location, terrain, and climate. Next, you'll want to create an itinerary and create a contact list of people you want to inform about your trip. Next, you will want to make sure that you bring the correct gear and equipment. This all depends on where you are going, how long you will be there, and weather conditions. Lastly, understand risks that can occur while camping in your area of choice and be prepared to limit those risks for your own safety. When you arrive at your campsite and before you set up camp, you will want to follow these tips. Select a site that is flat and away from trees. If you select a site with a fire pit, remember to follow fire safety and ensure that after making a fire, to put it out thoroughly so it does not escape and cause a forest fire. When camping overnight, you are going to hear and possibly see wildlife. When camping, store food in secure containers so that wildlife can't get into it. You can also put food in bags and hang them up on trees, or keep food in sealed containers or coolers. If you happen to see an animal, it is best not to approach or feed them due to possibly disturbing their behavior. Also, remember that there are small insects out in wilderness areas that can cause sickness. Ticks and mosquitoes carry sickness that can bite you and cause the sickness to get worse or can cause possible diseases like Lyme disease. To prevent this, remember to bring bug repellent and apply it often. Lastly, it is important to consider the weather when camping. Monitor the weather frequently to prepare for sudden changes. If a storm occurs with lightning, avoid being near any poles or open areas. If a flash flood warning goes into effect, avoid being in low areas and dry creek beds. When falling asleep at night, understand that weather patterns can change, so pack enough warm clothing and bring enough warm gear to prevent hypothermia. During the summer months, bring enough water to prevent dehydration and heat exhaustion. If plans must change midway through a camping trip, have a backup plan ready to go. By planning and staying aware of your surroundings, you can ensure a safe and enjoyable camping experience. Let's now talk about winter recreation safety. There are many activities that people can partake that are connected to winter recreation, such as sledding, skiing, snowboarding, and even ice fishing. But it is essential to participate in these activities safely. So first things first, you will want to check the weather to see if there are any snowstorms heading into your area. This will also give you information about avalanches that could possibly occur. If roads are not paved, try to avoid leaving and reschedule your trip. Next, you'll want to wear the proper clothing. This means wear layers and waterproof clothing that will keep you warm and dry. Don't forget to bring hats, gloves, and Wear a scarf. While choosing what to wear, try to avoid cotton. Cotton clothing can hold moisture and increase chill risk. If clothing happens to get wet, bring an extra set and quickly change into it. Also, bring an emergency blanket if temperatures suddenly change, and also look for shelter. Being prepared is the best option before going outdoors during snowy seasons. Now we will talk about activity-based safety. For skiing and snowboarding, always wear the proper clothing and a sturdy helmet meant for that activity. When on trails, stay on posted trails and follow signs. Try to stay on trails that you feel that you are able to do and try not to push yourself. Before hitting the slopes, do some exercises to get your body warmed up. If you are cold, you can be more prone to getting injured. Falling is natural when partaking in this recreational activity. So it is important to learn how to fall correctly to minimize injury. Also avoid overcrowded slopes or reckless people going high speeds down slopes. Riding snowmobiles is also a well-enjoyed recreational activity. Before getting on, wear the correct clothing and a helmet. Never ride on thin ice or unfamiliar terrain. Also avoid the consumption of alcohol or drugs while riding. Lastly, ride within speed limits and also go with groups of people. For sledding as a choice of a winter activity connected to recreation, which I really enjoy sledding, choose easy hills that are not near trees or roads. Sled feet first and avoid sledding in icy conditions or during nighttime. Also, try not to ride on broken sleds or makeshift ones. While outdoors, partaking in these activities, keep in mind emergency awareness. If you are experiencing hypothermia, such as shivering and slurred speech, move to a warm place and remove any wet clothing and wrap yourself in anything that will keep you warm and that will trap the heat. If you are experiencing frostbite, such as numb skin or the skin turning white or gray, try to rewarm yourself slowly. Don't try to warm up fast, such as using hot water. And if if it's getting worse for the hypothermia, seek medical attention. By being aware, dressing appropriately, and following rules and safety guidelines, you can enjoy yourself of your winter recreation activity while ensuring yourself and others are safe. Okay, let's talk about hunting safety. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, hunting is one of the priority public uses of national wildlife refuges. Hunting can be done on designated public lands or national forest regions. First things first, before you go hunting, you will want to get a license and a permit, including some educational background. This ensures your safety and that others know the laws and seasons you can hunt. Before going out, check season dates, know the number of animals you can hunt, and understand weapon restrictions. Also confirm the boundary lines of where you can hunt. When starting to hunt, remember that this recreational activity is dangerous and can lead to injury or death if rules are not followed. Treat every firearm as if it is loaded and point it in a safe direction when it is not where it is not hitting other people or buildings. Keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot. Say if you are doing archery, ensure that arrows are not broken and never dry fire a bow and arrow, which means never pull the string of a bow without the arrow attached. Avoid going into private property areas and follow the leave no trace principles. This means pick up your shells and trash. When out in a field, make sure you are wearing visible clothing such as orange hunting attire or pink in some states. Never wear colors that resemble animals. Visible gear can prevent accidents. If you're hunting in a group, be aware of where all of your group members are located. During hunting season, you may run into ice or snow, so vi- remember to see what's happening around you and try to avoid stepping on ice or uneven ground. When shooting your target, it is that is still moving, avoid approaching carelessly. This could lead to the animal injuring you. Remember to bring a first aid kit, GPS, whistle, and a fully charged phone and radio. If a certain situation occurs, seek medical attention ASAP. In conclusion, safe hunting practices not only protect you and others, it protects the integrity of wildlife and the surrounding areas. B, by staying informed, educated, and respectful, you contribute to responsible conservation, safety, and the enjoyment of wildlife hunting for everyone. For this last topic, I'll talk about emergency response. No matter what recreation activity you choose, it is always important to be safe while participating in that activity. Even with the best preparation, accidents can happen. Accidents such as sudden changes in weather, getting severely injured, or getting lost. Having an emergency response plan can limit these sudden actions. Some of the most common injuries during these recreation activities include sprains, burns, cuts, and some medical issues like dehydration, heat stroke, hypothermia, and allergic reactions. We also have environmental hazards and navigation issues like flash floods, wildlife encounters, getting lost, and losing forms of communication. The main takeaways from this presentation you will want to remember is always tell someone your plans before you set out on a trip. This allows for easy rescue. Bringing a first aid kit with you that includes basic materials as well can help you. This will help with smaller injuries. No basic first aid and CPR. This will help save a life. Check the weather forecast and research the area you are visiting. This will help with rescheduling trips and navigation. Also, having a way to communicate, such as phone or radio. This will help with communicating with others if an emergency occurs. The last two emergency responses you will want to remember is first, the stop framework, and second, you'll want to remember signaling. For stop, remember to stop. Stay calm, take a breath. Think, what is happening? What are the risks? Observe. Check surroundings for safety and assess injuries. Lastly, in a plan, which means deciding what to do next, such as first aid, seek help, or seek shelter. This framework will help you collect yourself and plan for next steps. Our last topic, let's talk about emergency signaling. Part of your first aid kit, you will want to have a whistle. If you are lost or in need of assistance in an emergency, you will want to blow the whistle 3 times in short blasts. This is a universal distress signal. Keep doing this until you are found. You can also use a mirror or flashlight, which will help with signaling planes. Wear bright clothing such as yellow or orange. This will make you more visible. Lastly, you can use sticks or rocks to spell out SOS. After an emergency, take time to reflect. Reflect on what worked and what didn't work. Think of every emergency as a lesson and learn from it. Take better precautions to eliminate the risk of an emergency occurring again. Thank you again for watching this video.